So welcome back. We are talking about wastewater treatment. In this video, we will be talking about the different sewage quality parameters. After consumption of raw water, it is converted into wastewater. The wastewater will be coming from different sources. So we'll try to identify that sources and where exactly the wastewater is coming and what type of problems are there with the wastewater in this video. Now, if you look at the classification of this wastewater, it considered as mainly two, that is domestic wastewater and industrial wastewater. Sometimes the storm water, which is falling on the ground from the earth, as a rainwater, so it is no contaminated with the wastewater also. That's why it is also can be considered as a part of the wastewater. The domestic wastewater is nothing but coming from the household sector. It consists of grey water and black water. What is the grey water? Grey water is the wastewater coming from kitchen, laundry, and bathroom. Simple washings without any human waste contamination. Black water is nothing but coming from the human contaminations, like urine, feces, etc. Most of the time nowadays we are using only the water flushing system. So the flushing water coming out from the toilets, the pipelines, now they are having all the contaminated waste from the urine or feces. Some basic definitions we can look at here. The sewage is nothing but wastewater arising from kitchen sinks, wash basins, washings. So this is also called as a grey water. Sewage is mainly coming from toilets or urine or feces, so which is also called as a black water. Wastewater is nothing but the general terminology if you look at, it is water arising from consumption in different activities. Particularly if it is industry source, it is industrial wastewater. And if it is coming from domestic source, it is a domestic wastewater. Stormwater is nothing but the water arising from rainfall, runoff, and rooftop water. And the sewer is a pipe carrying sewage. A sewerage system is a pipe network of different sewage. And this is where the sewer pipe, whatever is there, this is what is carrying this entire wastewater through it. Sanitation is another term which is normally talked about. It is nothing but the prevention of outbreak of sporadic diseases. And sanitary sewage, it comprises of domestic sewage and industrial sewage. So the sewage which you normally talk about is comprising of sewage and sewage, because most of the pipelines, they do not have any separation or separate for sewage and sewage. They're combined together. That's why we're calling it domestic sewage a part of these two. And to some extent, industrial sewage water, they're also coming out through stormwater drains and then joining into the municipal sewer pipes. That's why this is total sanitary sewage is a combination of domestic sewage and industrial sewage. Now let us look at this particular illustration to understand about sources of wastewater: residential or domestic, industrial, commercial, agricultural runoff, and stormwater. So these two are added extra. Commercial means the shopping complexes, hospitals, hostels, all such type of establishments. Agricultural runoff, so sometimes this is also can join into stormwater. So stormwater will get contaminated with agricultural runoff. So in estimation of sewage, we can take approximately 75 to 80% of water consumed. If water demand is say 200 LPCD, a sewage will be 150 to 160 LPCD. So sewage and wastewater are interchangeably used in normal practices. So industrial wastewater is separate, industrial wastewater treatment is separate. Then normally a sewage or wastewater means it is a combination of the domestic waste components of the sewage. Now if you look at the city wastewater is coming and residential source wastewater is also coming here through different pipelines. and joining into this combined pipe here. And the stormwater also on the roads, whatever is there. There are some inlets provided on the roads. So they will be joining through the inlets into the sewer pipe. This is the sewer pipe, a single sewer pipe. So it can carry all these things. And industrial sources also, some domestic wastewater from the industrial waste, like a canteen, offices. So they can join in the sewer pipe. Wastewater from the industry coming from the processes, that should be treated separately. So all these things put together, they will be reaching to a pumping station, a collection source. After that is a pumping station, and then it will be treated in a big treatment plant. It can be called as a wastewater treatment plant or a sewage treatment plant in general. So now let us look at this in a narrow diagram. So stormwater is coming on the roads like this through the inlets provided on the roads, and the rainwater falling on this roofs, rooftop water, the excess water, some water may be stored at the ground, or otherwise excess water will flow along the roads and then come into the stormwater. And from the houses, we are having the wastewater coming into sewer lines. So this is all about the sewage. Here, washings, bathing, and the kitchen. This is the gray water. This is the black water. This is the different types of storm water, right? So all these storm water, sometimes they may be going on their own, or they may be joined with another bigger storm water drain, and then they are discharged into a lake. So there are a number of ways of disposal of this storm water. Predominantly joins to a river body or any water body. And sometimes it is joined with the municipal sewer carrying all this gray water or black water, and together it will be treated. So when the storm water joins the black water or gray water, what will happen is the contents will be diluted, so that treatment will become much easier and less costlier. Now there are different types of decomposition in the water treatment system. One is aerobic cycle, and another is anaerobic cycle. The wastewater containing organic compounds that are easily degradable by bacteria. So we are adding oxygen here. Then these microorganisms, they will be converting to a biodegradation process to carbon dioxide, water, ammonia, and energy. And they'll undergo some synthesis. They'll also be converting into some new microorganisms generated in that process. They will once again undertake this degradation process, convert the same amount of byproducts. This is the normal cycle of aerobic decomposition. And in water bodies, this is a natural treatment system that is happening. And this organic matter, whatever is there, now it is whatever is there, this is now entering into the water bodies from the sources of domestic waste. The carbon content will be undergoing decomposition. It requires oxygen. From where it comes oxygen? So the sunlight will give algae photosynthesis. So subsequently, the oxygen will be there in the algal photosynthesis that is used, and some amount of oxygen is transferred from the air into the water, and the oxygen will be in the gaseous form. It should be dissolved in the water. So the two different phases, when two different phases are to be combined, we need some turbulence at the interface. The turbulence is provided by the wind blowing across the level of the surface level of the water. So this will make a quick transfer of oxygen from the air into the water. This oxygen and oxygen contributed from algal photosynthesis, they will help this aerobic bacteria to convert into carbon dioxide, ammonia, phosphate, and added water. And the algal photosynthesis, here carbon dioxide, whatever is there, it will be liberated along with the whatever the carbon dioxide liberated here, and the nitrogen also will be taken into this water. So this is how we are going to see the aerobic cycle that is going to form in the water bodies. And what are the solids which are formed due to decomposition? If they are heavy enough, they will be settled down in the bottom of the bed. They are called as settleable solids. In the anaerobic cycle, that means the supply of oxygen is less or absent. And there are going to three stages are there: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. And here also the carbon-based organic matter is going to be the predominant raw material. This organic matter consists of fats, cellulose, and proteins. They'll be undergoing at the different stages of decomposition to convert into soluble compounds. These soluble compounds, they will be acted upon by acidic bacteria to convert into organic acids. These organic acids, upon the oxidation activity of the methanogenic bacteria, they'll be converting into methane, carbon dioxide, and water. So methane is the most useful byproduct in the anaerobic cycle. So this is what we are calling also as the biogas, combination of methane and carbon dioxide. But predominantly methane is having high calorific value. It can be used also as a fuel. And anaerobic cycle, methane is the most useful byproduct. Now, if you see the waste flow cycle, after understanding the different types of wastewater, the treatment is not common to everyone. So there are some different combinations that are possible. The domestic and household waste having similar characteristics, that will be undergoing through treatment in a separate treatment plant, and treated wastewater is called as effluent. It's not discharged into disposal points. There are 4 disposal points. One is for into water bodies, another one is on land for irrigation, third one is once again putting it into municipal sewer, and fourth one is marine disposal. So this effluent, when it is discharged into surface water, so some excess concentration of these contaminants will be released, and it will occur into surface water, which is raw water, like river water, pond water, lake water. And this water is again taken as a drinking water source, and that will be once again going back into the household purposes in the form of a drinking water. Between the source of drinking water and reaches the consumer, then we are having one more water treatment plant, which is nothing but the raw water treatment plant. Industrial activities will have its own wastewater consumption or the discharge, and that should be discharged separately in the wastewater treatment plant. The characteristics of industrial waste depends on specific type of industry. So again, once again, it reaches into the effluent, the outlet of the treatment plant, and it may be transferred into surface water body as one of the disposal points. Similarly, animal farming, they also, we are having some wastewater, a similar process. Agricultural activities, whatever are there, and some runoff will be there. That runoff usually will be transferred into a river. That river water will be consumed as a surface water, and that may end up into a drinking water source for a habitat region, and there you're having again a treatment plant before it is consumed. Similarly, untreated sewage, many places in India, they don't have proper sewage treatment plants. So that will be coming out through a outfall sewers, open sewer or underground sewers, and that will be disposed on the land, and subsequently it reaches into this effluent or directly enter into surface water, or it may reach into the groundwater, and subsequently it will also undergo a similar process of waste flow cycle. So this is how the wastewater is flowing in the environment in different forms. So depending upon the source of wastewater and depending upon the contaminants which are likely to occur in these sources, the treatment plant will be designed accordingly so that this wastewater can be discharged uh, after treatment to out of the 4 different discharge points, as I said here. It can be surface water, bodies or online for irrigation, marine disposal, or into again the municipal sewers. So the treatment levels will be different in each of the four different combinations.